In the heart of a forgotten town lies an abandoned hospital, a relic of a time best left behind. This isn't just any old building, but a monument of despair, its towering structure casting long, ominous shadows that creep into the corners of your mind. Its paint is chipped and faded, the once bright whites now a sickly gray, a visual reminder of the life it once held. The windows, most of them broken, stare out like hollow eyes, empty yet filled with untold stories. The hospital, once a beacon of hope and healing, now stands as a testament to the inevitability of decay. Its corridors echo with a silence that's deafening, a silence that speaks volumes of the tragedies it has witnessed. The sterile smell of disinfectant is long gone, replaced by the musty odor of neglect, the air heavy with the weight of forgotten memories. The hospital was not always a place of dread. It was once filled with the hustle of doctors, the cries of patients, and the hope of recovery. But as with all things, time took its toll. A devastating fire, a series of unfortunate events, and the hospital was left abandoned, its history a mere whisper in the wind. Yet the townsfolk speak of a darker tale. They say the hospital is haunted, whispers of spectral nurses still tending to phantom patients, shadows that move of their own accord, footsteps echoing in the dead of night when there should be no one there. These are not just stories, they say, but warnings. The hospital has become a local legend, its chilling tales told around campfires and at sleepovers. It's a place where the brave venture to test their courage, and the curious go to satisfy their thirst for the unknown. Yet, despite the warnings, despite the fear, there is a certain allure to the place that pulls people in. An irresistible call of the unknown, a desire to uncover the secrets that lie within, to validate the tales of horror. Despite the chilling tales, curiosity often gets the better of many, leading them into the depths of this haunted edifice. As we delve deeper into this story, remember, the bravest of souls are often the ones who've never faced true fear. One chilly winter night, a group of adventurous souls dared to explore the abandoned hospital. Meet our thrill seekers. Jake, a fearless leader with a knack for mischief. Sarah, a brave heart with an infectious laugh. And Tim, the skeptic, who'd rather be anywhere but here. They were a tight-knit group, bound by their shared love for adrenaline-pumping exploits. Tonight, their adventure was fueled by a dare to spend a night in the forsaken hospital, a place shrouded in terrifying tales and whispered rumors. The dare had come from their rival group, who were convinced that our trio wouldn't last an hour within those eerie walls. The stakes were high, the pride was on the line, and the challenge was accepted. As the wind howled and the moon shed its pale light on the crumbling structure, they gathered their courage. Unaware of what awaited them, they stepped into the ominous building, their laughter echoing through the hollow halls. As they ventured deeper into the hospital, the jovial atmosphere began to fade, replaced by a creeping sense of dread. The once echoing laughter was now swallowed by the thick silence of the derelict building. The hospital, a chilling monument to a forgotten time, seemed to awaken with their presence. The air around them became noticeably colder. It was as if they'd stepped into the heart of winter, the biting cold gnawing at their bones. The warmth from their bodies condensed into visible breaths, dancing like ghostly apparitions in the icy air. Then, the symphony of the uncanny began. A distant, almost imperceptible tapping echoed through the empty corridors. It was irregular, like a disjointed heartbeat, pulsating through the walls of the hospital. The sound was omnipresent, an auditory specter that seemed to follow them wherever they went. As the friends ventured further, they noticed fleeting movements in the corner of their eyes, like shadows playing tricks on them. Every flicker of movement was accompanied by a quickening of their heartbeats, a primal instinct warning them of danger. Yet, when they turned to confront their fears, they found nothing but the oppressive darkness staring back at them. They tried to laugh it off, to attribute these eerie happenings to their overactive imaginations. They reassured each other, conjuring up logical explanations for the uncanny phenomena, a draft for the drop in temperature, the hospital settling for the noises, and their own fear-induced paranoia for the shadows. But the more they tried to rationalize, the louder the unsettling echoes became, the colder the air grew, and the more frequent the shadowy apparitions appeared. An invisible entity seemed to feed off their fear, growing stronger and more daring with each passing minute. But as the night wore on, they couldn't shake off the feeling that they were not alone. The hospital was alive, and it was not welcoming to its uninvited guests. It was as if the very walls were whispering a chilling warning, "You should not be here." In the stroke of midnight, the laughter ceased. A chill ran down their spines as they heard a child's giggle echoing through the halls. The silence that had once been their friend, a shield against the haunting tales of this forgotten hospital, was now their enemy. It was shattered by an eerie sound that sent icy tendrils of fear snaking through their veins. A child's laughter, innocent yet tinged with a disturbing undertone, reverberated through the cavernous corridors. The haunting sound seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once, making their skin prickle with goosebumps. It was a laugh that should have been shared in the warmth of a sunny park, not in the cold, damp darkness of an abandoned hospital. The sound of it was almost surreal, a stark contrast against the heavy silence that once again fell around them. Then, a ball, worn with age and neglect, bounced down the stairs with a rhythm that mirrored their racing hearts. Each bounce echoed through the hollow building, an ominous drumbeat that marked the beginning of their nightmare. They watched, frozen in place as the ball came to a stop at the foot of the stairs, its final bounce echoing like a tolling bell. It was as though the child, unseen but not unfelt, had dropped a gauntlet at their feet, challenging their courage. Their hearts pounded in their chests like wild animals, their breaths coming in short, sharp gasps. They exchanged looks, the whites of their eyes stark against the darkness. The dare that had once seemed like a thrilling adventure now seemed like a terrifying ordeal. Yet none of them made a move to leave. They were rooted in place by a mixture of fear, curiosity, and a strange sense of determination. The dare had become more than a childish game. It was now a test of their mettle, a challenge they were unwilling to back down from. The laughter of the child ghost, the bouncing ball, the chilling silence, they were all part of the test, and they were determined to pass. They huddled together, their hearts pounding in their chests, as the child's laughter echoed around them. As dawn approached, the true terror of the hospital was unveiled. The veil of darkness lifted, yet the gloom within the abandoned hospital only deepened. It was as if the rising sun had awakened the dormant spirits, lending them strength to make their presence felt. The friends, once daring explorers, now felt the chill of fear crawling up their spines. As the minutes ticked by, the hospital's past began to seep into the present. The walls echoed with the spectral cries of those who once walked its forsaken corridors. The air grew heavy, laden with the despair of countless souls who had met their untimely end within these walls. The friends could hear the agonized screams of patients long gone, their pleas for mercy a chilling testament to the hospital's dark history. Each corner they turned, every room they entered, was filled with the ghostly apparitions of past patients. Hollow-eyed and gaunt, these spectral figures seemed to be reliving their final moments, oblivious to the passage of time. The friends watched in frozen horror as these apparitions moved about, trapped in their own endless cycle of suffering. Deciding they had seen enough, the friends made the unanimous decision to leave. But the hospital, with its labyrinthine layout, had other plans. Corridors twisted and turned, leading them further into the heart of the hospital. Doors they had passed before seemed to have disappeared, replaced by endless walls. The hospital was like a living entity, shifting and changing its form to trap them within its confines. They tried to retrace their steps, but every turn seemed to lead them deeper into the hospital's clutches. Their frantic attempts to escape only served to disorient them further. Panic set in as they realized they were lost, trapped in this haunted maze with no way out. In the heart of the hospital they found themselves trapped, the echoes of the past closing in. The friends were prisoners of the hospital, their hopes of escape fading with each passing minute. The screams of the past grew louder, the apparitions more vivid as the final hour in the abandoned hospital began. In the first light of dawn, they found an exit, their relief palpable. The once imposing corridors of the abandoned hospital now seemed less threatening as daybreak painted them in soft hues of morning. The group didn't waste a moment as they made their way towards the exit, their hearts pounding in their chests, echoing the fading fear and the thrill of escape. Yet, the cold dread of the night hadn't completely left them. The eerie silence of the hospital seemed to follow them as they navigated their way out, the chilling memories of their ordeal refusing to let go. Every shadow seemed to hold a lurking terror, every sound a potential threat. Their breaths hitched and their steps quickened. Finally, they stepped out into the fresh air, the first rays of sunlight washing over them like a soothing balm. They vowed never to return, the horrors of the night forever etched in their minds. But as they glanced back one last time, they saw a figure watching them from a window, its eyes glowing in the morning light.